When purchasing a DJI drone, one of the accessories, or rather accessory kits, you'll probably take a look at is the Fly More kit. With the release of the Air 3 comes the release of yet another Fly More kit, which means you have a choice to make about the kind of accessories you want. Today, what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the Fly More kit for the Air 3, or rather all three of the options that I can emulate anyway, and figure out whether you should spend more to fly more, or if you should just spend to fly, I guess. Now I'm going to be spending some time talking about the prices because I think the prices are pretty important, actually the most important thing of any Fly More kit choice. Normally you'd be able to purchase the Fly More kit later down the road as a separate purchase, but this isn't currently the case with the Air 3. The only way to get it right now is to buy it with the drone, so it's either do it right now or don't do it at all. This is probably going to be fine for those who already intended to do it, but for those that were thinking about doing it, this means that you'll have to budget for the extra costs. And you'll want to budget for the extra costs because typically the Fly More kits are about providing extra accessories that would help you fly more, but in the case of the Air 3, you'll essentially be choosing your flight experience, or so to speak. You can spring for the standard pack that will run you $1,099, but that doesn't come with anything out of the ordinary. $200 more will take you to the first Fly More kit option and will come with everything you'd expect plus a bag, 2 extra sets of propellers, 2 extra batteries, and a charging hub. The last price and choice is the most significant one out of the three. It gives you all that I've mentioned before, but changes one crucial component. Adding $200 more from the previous kit will get you access to the all-new DJI RC2. I have some more to say about this, but I'll get into that later, so for now just keep these prices in mind. Now that I have pretty much talked your ear off about the price, let's get into the actual details of the parts that come with this Fly More kit, starting with the most in-your-face obvious item, the bag. So right off the bat, let me say that there isn't anything special about this bag. It's made out of a fairly dust-resistant and slightly water-resistant material that feels okay to the touch. On the inside is where you'll find 4 compartments, one for where the Air 3 would sit, one for your charging hub and batteries, one for your controller, whichever one you have, and the last one being for anything like some ND filters or maybe a portable battery or something. On the inner side of the lid here, you have a zippered pocket for putting anything that would fit in it. You do also have one more pocket on the outside of the bag that isn't secured in any way at all. Though this bag is pretty functional, it's sort of annoying to deal with because of how tight these pockets are. I get that you'd want to secure the things while you move around, but at least make it easier to fit things into the bag by making this opening around here a bit wider. There have been often times where I'm putting the drone into its pocket and the propellers get snagged somewhere while doing so, creating potential for them to be damaged. The same thing can be said about the control sticks here, but I guess I can't nitpick with this one too much because I think you're supposed to remove the sticks anyway before putting them into a bag or anything else. Luckily, the charging hub and batteries go in pretty smoothly. The zippered pocket up here is slightly annoying also. You can definitely store some things in here, but be careful when opening this pocket since it's very, very, very loose. The first time I used this pocket, I had my DJI mic set up in here and also the USB cable that comes with this Fly More kit, and I was able to catch my mic set before it fell to the ground, but the USB cable just fell right out. This is probably just me, but I think that this pocket would have been better utilized by putting it upside down. This would have made it easier to maneuver when you have the bag on. My other gripe with this bag is the fact that the latch here isn't secure. It does have a magnet here, but that magnet barely holds on to the latch it's under. On more than one occasion, I've had this fly open, exposing the contents inside, and the only way I've found to secure it is by having something as thick as the DJI mic inside of the zippered pocket I was referring to before. This created enough bulk to make it so that the latch here is pressed underneath this plastic hook it sits under anyway. All in all, I do just feel like there are better choices for bags out there, And this is a nice attempt from DJI, but it also seems like it wasn't an attempt at all. It was just kind of to get something in this Flymore kit to make it sellable. I feel like every time I talk about the propellers, the extra propellers that you're going to get in one of these Flymore kit review videos, I'm going to be able to say the same exact thing. There is literally no reason as to why anybody should think that they don't need to have more propellers on hand than the ones the drone came with. It doesn't matter if you've crashed before or haven't. The fact of the matter is that you need to expect the unexpected, and in this case I am very glad that I have had these extra propellers because my Air 3 has crashed once and has had some broken propellers in another case. If you'd like to see those videos, they are both active track tests I did, which I will leave a link to in multiple parts of this video, including in the top right. Typically, I'm the first one to state that having extra batteries is definitely always a plus when it comes to having a drone, but in the case of the Air 3, I think I might just have to rethink that opinion. The battery life on just one battery is superb, and you can definitely get flight times of up to 40 minutes in the right conditions. As a matter of the fact, I would go so far as to say you probably at most need only 2 batteries for the Air 3, just because the battery life is actually that good in my experience anyway. Of course, getting the Flymore kit comes with 2 batteries, but the only time I found that I need to use that 3rd battery is if I was flying the drone in very hot weather, like say 92-degree weather, while trying to do a video to post on this channel. Nonetheless though, if you are buying any of these Flymore kits, you're going to get 2 batteries anyway, but if you wanted to make some of that money back, you could definitely afford to sell one of these batteries, I think. The charging hub here is actually worth it for a few reasons I can think of. The fact of the matter is that if you have more than one battery, how cumbersome do you think it would be to have to charge those batteries directly inside of the drone, monitor when they're at their full capacity after being charged, and then switch them out? The charging hub just takes the guesswork out of doing all of that, and the greatest thing about it is that DJI did not lock the 100-watt charging feature behind a separate hub. It's actually built right into this one, and as long as you have a charger that can fulfill that power, then that means your batteries will take about an hour to charge each. Another great thing is that a feature has been added to this charging hub that actually lets you use 2 of the lowest batteries to charge the battery with the highest capacity to full by sucking the power from the other 2 lower batteries. I do like this feature a lot because it means that you will always at least have 1 full battery that you can fly with, and of course, since the Air 3's batteries last so long, you may only need that 1 battery. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that this charging hub looks very similar to the one you get with the DJI Mini 2, but even that one with the Mini 2 comes with a full-on USB Type-A port for charging other devices. I'm not sure if this is something that people notice, but I'll say it anyway. The fact of the matter is that even though it does not have a full-on USB Type-A port, you can still actually charge any external device by having a double-sided USB Type-C cable plugged into the hub's Type-C port. Now, though this is great news, I'm going to have to burst your bubble a little bit here again, because though you can charge an external device, you'll charge it at the slowest rate possible, as even though my Galaxy Z Fold 4 wouldn't fast charge while connected to this hub. I guess it is better than not having the ability to do so, but I do wish that DJI would have at least let us fast charge another device, or at least put in some button configuration that would allow us to turn that feature on. Now, like I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, depending on which Flymore kit you get, you're going to get access to one of 2 controllers, the new DJI RC N2 or the DJI RC2. I also alluded to the fact that I take issue with this, and I'll explain why, but first let me say that the RC2 is indeed a worthy upgrade to the original RC, and I have said this in the video that I made comparing the 2 in depth. It definitely fixes all or most of the pain points myself, and I'm pretty sure most other people have had with the RC. It's faster by a significant margin. It has the antennas for a much more stable connection. The screen is a bit easier to read and even see in bright sunlight, even though it hasn't upgraded any of the other specifications with it. And You can now do video out from it by using a USB Type-C to HDMI cable or even some docking stations. All in all, I don't have too many bad things to say about the RC2, but my biggest issue here is the fact that you literally have to buy the most expensive version of the Air 3/Flymore kit in order to gain access to the RC2 for a decent price. This is exactly why I made such a big fuss about the price before. It just seems like a really kind of sneaky thing to do, to have one of the best controllers locked behind such a high price point. This is pretty much my biggest gripe with the Flymore kits for the Air 3. Now, you could actually go about purchasing this controller separately at any time, but doing so is going to cost $369. For some perspective, if you went and bought the standard Air 3 option for $1,099 and then bought the RC2 later, then you'd be at $1,469, which is $81 away from just getting the option that comes with it. In my eyes, I found buying the Flymore kit with the RC2 to be worth it, but I also have different intentions when I purchase a drone than most others would. There are those out there who are flying recreationally and really might want that experience of being able to have an all consolidated option in the form of something like the RC2, especially since this is one of the only controllers that work with the Air 3 at the moment. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't make sense to me that there isn't an option to get a package with the RC2 other than the Flymore kit, like something similar to the first kit you can actually get with the Air 3, which is that one with the RC-N2. All in all, besides the current pricing scheme effectively putting this near excellent controller behind what is seemingly a paywall, I guess I'll contradict myself and say that it is totally worth it. It's just that I can only say that from a biased point because my drones will be used for business. But again, not everybody who is flying is going to be doing the same thing I or someone else would do in a business sense. So this is pretty much all I have to say and share on the Flymore kit. I mean, which Flymore kit do you even call this? Flymore kit with RC2 combo, maximum, ultra, mega, super duper? I don't know. But yeah. Again, like I said, you know, if you have the purpose for this kit, then definitely go ahead and get it, of course. However, if it is something that you're thinking about and, you know, you're kind of psyching yourself about it, I don't know if I'd necessarily do it then, or at least this is what I've been trying to say. I would just wait to see if DJI sort of reevaluates the prices that they currently have, if they're even going to go ahead and do that. And maybe there will be some kind of package with just, you know, the RC2, the drone, the propellers, like all the stuff you'd get in a standard kit. I'm really hoping that that's going to come there, and maybe they could sell it for like, you know, $1,150 or something like that. But I don't know, I'm not a pricing analyst. Anyway, I hope this review was helpful. And if you have any comments or questions or concerns or anything along those lines, you know where you can leave those. And I would definitely ask that you go ahead and do all of the standard things a YouTuber would ask you to do. You know, there are affiliate links if you would like to purchase any version or any sort of package of the Air 3 that would very much so help me out, as well as like you know, the other stuff that I just said, you know. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. So wherever you are in the world, though, have a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, or a great night, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.